Game number 2 underway here. Complexity versus the Dire. Complexity up 1-0 again, riding a wave of momentum. I think it's safe to say, defeating EG earlier in the Star Ladder qualifiers, and now taking on the Dire here in the PGL qualifiers with a trip to the finals on the line. And they're on the verge of doing so if they can close out a victory here. It's not going to be easy, though. Obviously, the Dire, they've been looking very hot themselves. Looking forward to a fun series here. I'm Breaking CPK, joined by Skim once again. And the players, they were asking to go for a little bit there. Finally, we got going, and man, they are just flying through this draft.
Absolutely flying through this draft. It almost feels scripted at this stage. I mean, up until now, it felt very scripted. Like, oh, I remember, oh, we bent this, we bent that. No, but yeah, like you said, they did bend the Wisp now. Personally, I thought the Silencer was the bigger issue. Yeah, the Wisp Tiny is a difficult combo to deal with, but I thought the Silencer actually rounded out that lineup perfectly. So for me, the Silencer was the big issue, but, you know, not dealing with the Wisp. Wisp is a strong hero after all, and like we mentioned earlier, Wisp can be comboed with a variety of heroes anyway, so in a sense, banning the Wisp doesn't necessarily only ban the Wisp Tiny combo, but any Wisp combo, but it does leave the pool open with a lot of heroes that both teams like, such as the Nature's Prophet. Yeah.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team back.
Yep, and they pick up an early Nature's Prophet, which we see a lot these days, but especially from Complexity, they very much like this hero. They feel comfortable running it as an offlaner or as a carry. Both Mu and Chessie are excellent Nature's Prophet players, and I don't know, it just gives them with a lot of flexibility when it comes to the laning stage as well. You know, I mean, we've seen it already in the previous series as well. Nature's Prophet, with his global presence, can just win other laning stages or just apply a lot of pressure around the map, so overall, just good pickup, but at the same time, the Dire have one of the best counters against the Nature's Prophet in the Spirit Breaker. A lot of global presence from the Spirit Breaker as well, a good initiator, and we've seen Misery destroy in that hero as well. So, you know, good pickups from both sides so far. Very solid.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Dazzle.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Rubik.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Dark Seer.
Ten seconds remaining.
Ah, yeah.
5 seconds remaining.
Mm-hmm. And then there's Brewmaster. I do have to bring that up real quickly before these final two pick comes out. Underlord is going to be a pick, which is another hero that they have actually... And actually, I want to say when they ran Chessie with the Nature's Prophet Safeland, they also had an Underlord paired up with it, if I remember correctly. So kind of that transition there once again. They like this theme of the draft here.
10 seconds remaining.
Going with.
5 seconds remaining.
So that means both teams potentially need their middle hero. I mean, Necrophos could definitely end up there, of course, as well. But Complexity, you're pretty sure on. They'll probably need their middle hero.
Dire team ban.
Yeah. They're back over there, those sons of bitches.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Do you ban Huskar here? I mean, they do have a Dazzle after all. It seems like it could potentially work. I mean, is that a scary hero for Complexity?
It depends. I think.
Dire team.
No, I think what would be too risky for both teams actually. Even though both. I mean, yeah, no, I don't think it would necessarily work. There's a lot of physical damage I can deal with him. There's a lot of control as well. I think it would. I mean, it would be an interesting cheese strat, and I'm not sure Complex. I mean, maybe it is in the back of Complexity's heads, but I just don't really think you would run it right now.
Yeah, they banned the Broodmother. Speaking of cheese strat,
yeah.
Remaining.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now, who do they get to mid here? They're going to have 35 more seconds to choose, and they have the unfortunate side of they don't really know who he's going to be going up against yet. I mean, again, it could be the Necro, it could be this final pick at the Dire Go. So they're having to think of what would be kind of a safe option here. Puck is on the board. Who comes to mind? True. TA.
Radiant team pick.
A world devourer.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's a clever pick, too, I think, because they got the Dire to ban Sniper, who's kind of that natural counter to OD in the laning phase, so kind of the safe route there. Clinks is going to be the final pick, though, for the Dire here. Interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, by all means, that snowball-y kind of core hero that can get out of control right here. You know, the early Medallion, especially the eventual Orchid, and just starts getting solo kills left and right. Heroes like Silencer and Rubik, especially, and Nature's Prophet even can start catching him as he's maybe split pushing. So yeah, it definitely seems like a strong pick with you there, and a lack of control could be an issue for Complexity. So well played by the Dire there as far as finishing off the draft. Seems like it came together pretty nicely for them. Gonna have Pycat, of course, playing the safe lane Necrophos here. As a result of that, at least that's what you would expect coming out as far as where they're going to be laning.
Yeah, it's definitely CNC mid Clinks. He's already getting Tangos pulled as well. I don't think you want to run the Necrophos necessarily up against the OD. I think Clinks does fairly well, actually. It's still, I mean, no matter what hero you are, it still sucks that you're getting your intelligence stolen, right?
Yeah. That's true. Pretty much going to be the case for anyone there. So, PPD is getting up here with the smoke. Places a ward in the top shrine area. What is Complexity side? And they also got a very aggressive ward down at the bottom lane down here. In between the tier 1 and tier 2 towers. So, very good aggressive vision coming out from the Dire team.
Unfortunately, it actually doesn't give that much vision because it's like between the trees. So unless you cut a tree, it doesn't only provides vision over the camp. But you know, as long as it also blocks the camp, it basically is doing its job for Complexity. They just want to control over that camp, making sure that Mu doesn't suffer from creeps being pulled away, and just knowing when if the support is there is actually already big in itself. So in a sense, yeah, it's a pretty good word. And though I do think that it's not unlikely to be warded. I think, it's not difficult to be warded, let's just put it that way.
Yeah. And yeah, you see the top side, the top jungle up there too. They are also blocking a camp up here with that ward as well. So OD locking in the middle lane. You look at what Team Dire is doing over here. They have a little bit of assistance, at least initially from Spirit Breaker, I guess just for the block, but going to protect the courier as well just in case. No one's here, though, as we see, and now he's going to figure out where he's going to go. We saw in the previous series, I mean, Misery played a mean Spirit Breaker against what was Iceberg there, so looking forward to seeing him move around the map constantly. Top lane, Zai, he could probably use some help. He's in a bit of trouble up here. Arcane's Curse comes out. Don't know if they're going to be able to run him down the cock and block him off, maybe? Yeah, spawns more trees. They cut off his path completely. They're trapping him in. Oh, man, this is going to be first blood, I'm pretty sure. coL actually draws first blood after that.
I love how they didn't use lift at all. They didn't even need it because they knew they could trap him like that. I'm not actually sure if he used the Iron Shell already in the lane and he was just holding onto it in case he had Surge, but still, very good play for them.
That's a good point. Yeah, he saved his mana. He's like, I'll use lift if I have to, but don't need it. So why waste the mana if you didn't need it for the kill? It's going to be a safety net if anything. So yeah, nice first blood. Misery charges back towards the middle though. Now he's here. He does have that Orb of Venom to harass a little bit, but so far, Limp doing pretty good. Charge back to the top. They're charging Rubik over here. There's that lift. Pretty good against Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, they have two actually really good ways of dealing with the Spirit Breaker, the lift and the imprisonment. So once he does charge you, you can either lift him or imprison him. But as we saw in the Iceberg Dire series as well, as long as, Limp is going to use imprisonment to harass in lane. So if he uses it, and Misery finds the timing correctly, they can go for a kill after he uses imprisonment.
Just love the stare off they had with one another right there. Just chilling, waiting to see who's going to react. 2-minute rune coming out though, and see the bounty runes being picked up. So Underlord matched up against Necrophos here at the bottom lane. There is, of course, Dazzle nearby, and moves getting a little low right here, but man, he's not afraid. Gonna be right up in the face of Necrophos, but now he's making his way back, and it looks like he is gonna go all the way back here to regen, actually.
All mid lane. Z-Freak almost in range for that lift. Not sure it would have been enough for a kill, but at the very least it forces CC. I mean, he already was forced to use his regeneration anyway. Yeah, this lane, again, the Klings does fairly well in lane. You know, Searing Arrows don't cost too much mana, so no matter how much intelligence you're getting stolen, you still can harass Limp and also last it effectively. So Kling's definitely one of the better heroes to deal with the OD.
Yeah, something we've kind of overlooked here a little bit, though, is Complexity. Really, both games, when you think about it, they ran the 4-position IO last game. Now they're running the 4-position Rubik here. These aren't your typical 4-position, you know, roam-heavy heroes. They're a little more defensive, even. Rubik is going to come to the top lane and perhaps try to set something up as I say this. Again, has that lift this time. I'm sure that is going to come out. He lifts up Darkseer. He did get off the surge before, though. Runs away. Misery pushes them back. Misery taking some damage, but he too will be fine. But what do you make of that? The fact that they're going 2 range supports instead?
I think it's just a more stable laning stage for them right now, and it probably gives them... I mean, they didn't necessarily need a roamer in this laning stage, I don't think. Mostly because Limp definitely needs a solo experience here in the mid lane, and so does the Underlord. So any roamer that you would have probably would take away from that. And then also you have just a strong mid game with both the Silencer and the Rubik. Much stronger than you would probably have with, say, if this was like an Earth Spirit. Because the Rubik isn't necessarily reliant on having like a strong early game like an Earth Spirit would be. And, you know, just a level 6 in itself could be really strong on this Rubik Z-Freak. So I think it's also just very safe pick during the draft. I mean, they picked both supports very early, like 2nd and 3rd pick. So it just gave them a lot of sort of time to, you know, react in the draft with their core picks.
Yeah. And again, there's always the idea that Silencer could potentially be a core, but knowing Complexity, and PPD of course does, and as the Dire team does as well, they probably expected it to be supported in the end, and sure enough it was, with as it played out here. Middle lane, they're going. Nope, teleport cancel, never mind. We saw Nature's Prophet teleporting in there initially, but deciding to stop it instead, staying at the top lane. Now Kyle, he's being charged in though. 3 are here. Sprout goes up, taken down by his own Tree Creations though, and Kyle puts the last word up, but it'll be his last word as he falls to the ground. So good rotation from Team Dire. And they get the kill at the top.
Yeah, really good kill for them. And this is pretty much... Oh,
got him. Jeez, diving this tower. Oh, Kyle comes in there with a curse, and now Pycat. He's in a lot of trouble. Rubik also up here. Has another heal, has only 2 wand charges, though. Lift, push back. Gonna pop that here. Not gonna be enough. Maybe get himself denied. It's close. Yo, he will not. Kyle gets credit for the kill. Chessie does die at the top lane, though, as we're watching that.
Yeah, this is good reaction from Dire. They realized, hey, we technically don't really need the supports both in the mid lane or in the safe lane, because Underlord is getting dealt with by the Necrophos just fine, and, you know, OD is difficult to kill with just a Spirit Breaker anyway, so might as well just apply pressure top, and Chessie can be an easy target with double Iron Shell, so is the Silencer, so I like that Dire is trying to exploit this lane a little bit, and you can already see Kyle is not even returning to this lane, because he cannot add anything valuable to this lane anymore. Yeah, he's soaking up experience, and he cannot even like prevent these kills from happening because he's a Silencer, so immediately stays at the bottom lane after getting that kill onto Pycat, and potentially just harassing Pycat. Well, or getting another kill.
Not only harassing, yeah, they want this kill. Lift. Ooh, he didn't get off in time. He is being charged, by the way. No matter when he gets here, he clears the trees. Here comes Dazzle, though, the shallow grave save. And that's going to save him. Yeah, he heals on up with the ghost shot. Chessie even porting in for this kill. It's not going to work, though. And now Chessie needs to be careful not to get turned. That charge is still coming. Finally, it connects on a Z-Freak, and he is dropping low himself. Fadebolt goes out, minimizing that damage. See the Firestorm as well. Misery walking out of that. The curse is up, though. Eats of the trees immediately, and he's going to survive. How is nobody dead at this bottom lane? It's like a 4 versus 3, and somehow everybody stays alive so far.
Very unfortunate, but if you're Complexity, you're still happy with this because they have 3 range creeps as siege creep as well. Like, this tier 1 tower might just fall, especially since Chessie is now distracting the creep wave as well. But looks like Team Dire do not want to give up this tower just yet.
No, they don't. Spirit Breaker, he'll charge in. Connects on a Silencer, bash proc right off the bat. Or prevent him applied, of course. Necrophos coming in the flank. He does not have Reaper Sight, though. Jesse's like, Kyle, love you, man. I gotta get out of here, though. Moo does get the tower kill. No Dark Rift. Probably not gonna be able to TP out, although Kyle may actually survive. He's got his distance. He's gonna TP. So they will kill Underlord. But Silencer does make his way back to base right there. So, you know what? He got the tower kill, though. It kind of goes back to, as you're saying. I mean, if you're Complexity, yes, the hero died, but you got the tower kill. So, actually not too bad in the end.
Unfortunately for them, though, they spent, what, 2 minutes or a minute and a half maybe down here with like 4 heroes. This gave Darkseer a lot of free farm, a little bit of tower damage as well, and nobody was soaking up this experience. So if you look at the Rubik, he's only level 3.5 in comparison to, you know, the Spirit Breaker, who's almost level 4, even the Dazzle, who's almost level 5. Like, none of this complexity supports even close to this, so... Yeah, they get a tier 1 tower, which is great. It's a great boost for them overall in terms of net worth, but they lack experience a lot.
Double damage, going to be picked up an OD here. I believe I mentioned in a previous series, or asked you even, that what we were going to see on the OD in that game here. What about this game? What does Limp go, you think? What's the choice this time around? His top lane, by the way, Underlord. He is dead. They find him in the jungle. Good job by Darkseer and Spirit Breaker collapsing.
Double Iron Shell, a true and tested combo.
Yeah.
Very strong, and it's very difficult for anybody to stay in this lane. And I think this is also part of the reason why they sort of abandoned it in the first place, because it's very difficult to stand up against this lane. And old Chessie's being hunted by CCNC.
He's gonna open, but no medallion, no orchid or anything like that. So.
Anyway, yeah, just to come back to the OD question, probably a very standard item build with Dragonlance, Hurricane Pike. And yeah, as I say that, he literally just queued it up in the quick buy as well, so very standard. Sometimes you see them still going for a Midas before that even, but I don't think this is the game for it.
Not Sanity's Eclipse just yet. They're going on in, but he falls back. Good job with the block. As Chessie ported in there. Wrath of Nature goes off. No kills coming from it, though. He does have the drums queued up, by the way. Nature's Prophet. We're going to have to farm up some more. Perhaps a bit of that bottom lane. You see the top lane. Darkseer, he's going to run away. Taking some harassment from Silencer. Open up some farm for Underlord, though. He's got the Arcane Boots. And working on his Hood of Defiance here.
Yeah, the Hood of Defiance is going to make him much tankier. And then he can also withstand the harassment from the Darkseer. Much needed. And yeah, for Complexity, this is a totally different game than last game. You know, last game, very high pace from them. They had a lot of aggression on pretty much any lane as well. Maybe not the Tidehunter lane, but you know, the other lanes, they had a lot of aggression with Tiny and with the Nature's Prophet even. But this is totally different. They have to play it a little bit more patiently. They have to, you know, make sure that they get into the mid game without giving up too many casualties or without giving up too many kills and objectives. But I think if you're Dire, you just don't really want to give them that space, and you know, if you can find opportunities with the Spirit Breaker, they're gonna keep on looking for it as well.
Pike here. What's where is he going? Oh
yeah. He's trying to look for a kill, maybe the career snipe, I don't know, but just being a nuisance overall, I think.
He's trying to be a nuisance up here at the top lane. Ooh, if he plays patient enough, Silencer. Yep. Yeah, this is probably a free kill. He does so much damage. There you go, one more attack, he got it. Yeah, nothing Kyle could do there at that point. Just simply has to accept death. He tried to juke, ain't gonna happen. That's just
and that was without
damage.
Death Pact. In the meantime, PPD might just fall here.
I gotta figure the Shallow Grave's coming at least. Doesn't matter, can he withstand that? He's put under, and actually with CCNC coming over, that's gonna scare off Complexity, so good team support. In fact, Misery also joining in. The Arcane's Curse hits too. Chessie. Oh, he tried to kill the Courier there for a second. Not going to happen, but now... Wow, that damage, though, coming out from Clinks. Almost actually killed Nature's Prophet.
Yeah. And that one was with Death Pact, though, so that definitely makes more sense. But Silencer, he died without Clinks having Death Pact, so that goes to show how... both how squishy the Silencer is, but also just how strong this Clinks pick is. And again, in the mid game, he'll be able to kill virtually any hero, maybe bar the Underlord, within a few seconds. Ooh, brutal.
Reaper Scythe connects as he had the Dark Portal up, trying to get out, or Dark Rift even. It was almost, it had to just about be there. But unfortunately not in time. Now comes the charge. Z-Freak. Oh jeez, he's just dropping into this Clinks. That's something we're going to see more and more of. It feels like this hero's so good at picking off people. Denies the tower, and now he has the Medallion queued up to top it all off. So CCNC, he's having a very, very comfortable game this time around.
Yeah, and because the laning stage for the complexity supports wasn't necessarily that great either, it's going to make it a lot more difficult in the mid game as well to keep track of this things, because you're going to need a lot of detection. Oh, move. He's going to get... yeah.
God, this is an Underlord. It feels like they shouldn't be able to do this, but they're doing it, and they're doing it very well. They're just diving an Underlord.
Yep.
Killing them.
And they're the ones getting the objectives. Not only did they deny a tower mid, they're also getting a tier 1 of themselves, and this is sort of what Complexity wants to be doing themselves, right? They want to be the ones that get those objectives, that get the map control, but instead they're actually losing map control because of the Clinks and the Spirit Breaker. It's very difficult for them to actually feel safer on the map, because they just don't know where they are at any given time. And it's only going to get worse from here on out, because the Clinks is going to get more stronger and stronger, and so does the Spirit Breaker as well. So this is going to be a very difficult game for the Complexity supports. They're going to... I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle spends like all of his net worth on wards and sentries and will never have an item.
Yeah, that is kind of the nice thing about running a support silencer, is the idea, at least on paper, he could transition into a bit of a core with the Stolen Intelligence. By the way, top lane Dark's here. Lifts up. Steals Surge, it looks like, actually. That could come into play. He actually surges up Limp to help chase him down. The Arcane Orb's auto attacks, dealing plenty. And more than enough damage for that kill. So that's a 3-kill streak stopper as well. Kyle actually getting credit for the kill. Nice little bounty for him. But yeah, going back to the point though, again, this game, not so much. He's not doing too well as far as the start goes.
Yeah, and
this farm.
Going forward again, he'll have to invest a lot more into, you know, getting the vision up around the map, trying to keep his teammates safe, and trying to anticipate the Kling's movement as well. That's sort of what you need to do as a support, especially with your wards, trying to anticipate where is he gonna be, where is he gonna strike. Oh, mid lane, looks like that's where they're gonna strike.
Well, they dusted up Klinks actually. Can they really chase him down though? Imprisonment comes out, Dazzle's here. You know that Shallow Grave's gonna happen. There's the wall combo. Not the biggest one of the century by any means, but Nature's Prophet, he will walk it off. Dark's here. Caught in the Pit of Malice. Meanwhile, another wall goes down. That'd be Rubik's Wall, so... oh, well, either side can't really run through it. Limped, another strike. Not enough damage to take him out, even with the offensive burn. And now, Mystery's on the other side of the cliff. Jesse, he's going to TP out in time. No, he goes down. Zai, credit for the kill. The Iron Shell.
Iron Shell, yeah.
I'm sure getting credit for it, so... only one death there, jeez.
So, Misery getting super unlucky, pushing out the OD lower ground, being unable to hit him after the ultimate. I'm not sure he would have had enough damage to kill him anyway. It's still very unlucky, and overall, Complexly, you could tell they tried to invest 5 years to get that Klings, and it would have been worth it if they had gotten him, but they were unable to get him because they just don't have really any burst damage to instantly kill him, especially when he does have Death Pact on him. And then the rotation and the support from Dire is just too strong. They have the Grave, so even if you do get him low, if he gets Grave, that's basically nullified in a sense. Then there's Darks here as well, who has a mech, and then Necrophos on top of it as well. So there's so much support for this Klings, which makes it really, really difficult for Complexity to find a pickoff.
Bottom lane Limp. He's in trouble. Imprisonment. I mean, he'll live a little longer. And he will live. Okay, the urn, not going to be enough, actually. So they decide not to hang around to make that kill happen. Does escape. Good timing on his part. Something I just noticed before that, though. Kyle, he currently has queued up the buckler. And he did this in a game recently, or a couple days ago, I want to say, where he literally just sat on a casual buckler. I mean, it's honestly not bad.
No, it's a great value item, especially because there's that minus armor from Klinks. Is he gonna get a kill? No, looks...
he's trying. He's just poking in, but Complexity's having to play it very safe. I mean, this is between the towers, by the way. Jesse does port in. Wrath of Nature on cooldown, though. Dust is out, but Team Dire, they'll just reset, fall back. All right, not gonna fight. We'll farm.
Yeah. And this, again, they don't really have the control for the Klinks. They don't have, like, some sort of blink initiation where they immediately lock him down, or any long-range initiation either. Like a Fisher, for example. It's super difficult to keep him controlled, and quite frankly, they need to catch him by surprise, and even then they have to, make sure that he doesn't have Death Pact on, or at the very least they have sufficient damage, which they currently just don't. So this is something where they have to play a lot more patiently than this, or just in general, they will have to have a lot of patience throughout this entire game.
And a Pycat here on Necrophos, man, he is farmed. Veil of Discord has the Forest Staff coming along. Got those Ghost Marchers, so he's feeling pretty...
Freak, he's dead again, isn't he?
Pretty Gucci here. Top lane Z-Freak. Yeah, he has a Fade Bolt. What does he have there? That's a straight. That's not gonna help him.
He definitely wanted the invisibility, because there's no way Klinks is going to have dust flying around, so... Just unfortunate, but also CCNC obviously not going to give him that invisibility either.
Jesse? Well, Misery runs into him. Now Jesse is looking to turn this, pops the drums even, but Misery will just run away with the charge, so he's fine. Underlord, I want to make a comment on Moo here again. I noticed that the last time they played this hero as well with Moo playing it, he's not afraid to be very liberal with the Dark Rift. He literally uses it as a second teleport scroll. Like, his teleport scroll's on cooldown while he's back at base refreshing. He just used it to go back to the middle lane here and just start pushing it out and farming. I mean, what do you think of that? Do you feel like that's maybe overusing it, or is that fine?
I think it's fine. Oh, Jesse. Yeah, he's dead again, isn't he? I think it's fine just because it's difficult to find like a perfect timing for it, right? Especially in a game like this, where you're not going to group up a lot because you need a lot of farms still before you can actually group up. So in that sense, I mean, he's never really going to use it more so than just maybe saving 2 people or 3 people at most. So in a sense, I actually think it's fine because it accelerates his farm. But being in lane almost consistently, right? He TPs back and then he Dark Rifts back. You know, it just gives him more uptime in the lane and during farm.
All right, TP's bottom. He does have Dark Rift up in a couple of seconds right here. We'll see if it comes into play. How about Zai, by the way, on his Darks here? Full Guardian Greaves already finished. Great against Silencer, especially. To have that item. Wouldn't be surprised to see a Blink Dagger eventually even coming out on him to really get in there. Set up a Vacuum Wall combo. Last fight. As look at Underlord too, the double chainmail. Speaking of the buckler coming out. But it's funny seeing that. They're stacking the... I mean, armor is pretty good against this Radiant side. More so against the Klinks than anything. It's
very important. Too. Very important. That's also why the casual buckler on coL is so good. It basically has like 100% uptime. What is like... It has like... It lasts 30 seconds and has like a 25-second cooldown or something. So, this is a perfect item, really.
I love the courier baits. He tried to kill the courier right there, did Klinks. He's going to be dusted now. And boy, if this backfires for him. Look at that steal from Z-Freak, by the way. He stole the skeleton walk, trying to run him down. Was able to pick it up. Misery is like, I gotta sacrifice myself for this.
No. This was great decision-making from both of these like 4-position supports. Like I said, Z-Freak instantly stealing that Ghost Walk enabled him to like threaten the Klinks. And then Misery on time with his sacrifice, but 2 timely smoke ganks.
This is big. Now they need to get back, or what are they doing? Where's the team? Oh, they are coming back now. They were running around all the way around. Now they realize what's going on. Ascending to the Eclipse comes out. Not going to do much right there, though. Z-Freak, meanwhile, he's assisting with the team. You got Dazzle throwing on the Shallow Grave on himself. Jesse, maybe trying to run him down, spawn some more trees. Yes, we'll get the kill. Klinks, he's looking for that opportunity. Who's going to pick off? Probably Jesse. Kaga's picked off, meanwhile, from Necrophos right here. They run down another. And Darkseer goes down actually himself. He actually still has his wall. Wasn't able to use it in that fight. Perhaps out of mana, I'm not even sure. But Chessie, he actually did pour it out. I thought he was going to die to Clinch back there. But no, Solar Crest probably helps him there.
2-for-2 trade. It's unfortunate for Complexity. I think they had the right idea in mind. They didn't want to give the Dire any chance to recuperate from that engagement earlier and immediately smoked up. But the Dire had the same, or Team Dire had the same idea. They immediately thought, alright, we're not sure we lost, what, the Spirit Breaker, but we can still take down anybody that's in lane here, right? So they immediately smoke up as well. Pretty much great minds think alike, honestly. They both had the same idea. Just Dire, just their lineup is just better at that stage of the game.
Misery, once again, almost playing a bit of a sacrifice here, it feels like. He charges in. Look at the steal again, though, by Z-Freak. He charges him back. It's that stun off. He's going to lift him up. Dazzle, nearby. I gotta expect that Shallow Grave if necessary. It's not even necessary, though. Just charge away again, and he actually will be fine. So, they chased him that whole time. Misery doing a good job, though, of surviving. In the long run, top lane, Underlord up here. Dark Rift is up shortly, but he's trying to finish that full-on pipe now. At this point. He also does go the Medallion when they already have one on Nature's Prophet and the full Solar Crest here.
That's fine. That's fine. Again, you need all the armor you can get, and if you can use mine, or if you can apply the minus armor on multiple targets as well, I mean, if you need to, that's also beneficial. Or obviously also use it on the OD. Like, you definitely need as much armor as you can. So I think as a value item, it's fine. But just to come back to the engagement earlier, where they, you know, didn't even get the Spirit Breaker. That's just sort of in the stage that Complexity is in right now. They can't really find those kills, and they cannot commit to those kills either, because in prolonged fights, Dire is always going to come out on top just because they have that sustainable physical damage, which Complexity right now just don't have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's going to start coming from limp up, more so pure damage, if anything, but the Hurricane Pike almost finished. But obviously OD is under farm. I mean, he's 6th in the game right now. That is not good for your mid OD. In this case, being Complexity behind even a couple of teammates at Underlord, as well as the Nature's Prophet, of course. So they really need him to recover in this game. But you look at the other side, Pycat here on Death Prophet. This is Necrophos. He's doing very well. Mentioned that 4-staff finish from earlier, and now he has the Radiance in queue. Almost finished itself at this rate. 3,800 gold already saved up, and that's an Aegis now on top of it. Who's this over here? It's Misery again. He's fine, right? Yep. Okay, maybe not this time. He's gone out so many other times. Not this time, though.
I think if a Complexity, you take this as a sort of like boost of confidence. You know, yeah, goddammit, we finally killed this guy after he like slipped away a couple of times, and it just buys him a little bit of space. Sure, you're still going to be afraid of the Clinks, but having the Spirit Breaker off your back for a couple of seconds, it's just, you know, a necessary breather. It really is, especially for the OD, like you highlighted, so poorly farmed right now. Again, this is one of the reasons why sometimes we just see the Midas built on OD early on, because he doesn't necessarily farm as quickly as other heroes, as other carries, even though he needs that carry farm. And I don't think he's going to go back for it because it's very late for it, but, you know, could have helped.
Oh my gosh. CCNC with a Desolator now. Okay, this is Moot. Now, he is stacked with armor himself, but...
I think they realized it. He hit him, and then he realized, wait, I didn't really deal as much damage as I thought I would, so no, let's not do this, guys.
That was a risky choice. Oh, it also has the Atrophy Aura, of course, so... Yeah, a little scary right there as far as really committing to that and decide better of it. Kyle middle lane. That's going to be a Reaper's Scythe to keep him in place, at least. And then the auto attacks to actually finish the job. So he won't be as dead for long, fortunately for him. But nice kill for Team Dire. And now they're going to the middle lane. Z-Freak, he actually steals a charge and gets out. But unfortunately leaves his team behind to fend for themselves. And he dies anyways, actually. So Underlord dead too. This is a mid tower. This is looking good for Team Dire. I mean, it's just been all them, the complete opposite of the last game, and looking like they're in a good spot to really force that third and final game. This OD just continues to really struggle, and without him, doesn't seem like Complexity's chances are that high.
Yeah, they're really rolling over Complexity right now, and they don't even need to commit 5 heroes for anything. If anything, it's more like 2 heroes, 3 heroes, and you know the Necrophos himself. Yeah, we just saw a Reaper Scythe, but he hasn't really been. I'm not saying that Pyke hasn't been playing well, but he wasn't really needed this far, right?
No, not really. I mean, it's really, Clinks has been the one definitely moving around the map. Him and Misery have definitely been controlling the pace of this game for this team. Now, we saw Clinks right there is somewhat being run down by Chelsea. I feel like Z-Freak just loves to charge. Like, he just loves stealing that ability.
I mean, he's a Spirit Breaker at heart as well. He loves playing that hero.
That's true. He is a fan. He's kind of playing it through the Rubik here and gets away to the top lane, but guess who's in pursuit? It's Clinks. He's hunting him up here. Realizing best to go for the tower. Yeah, Clinks actually has a BKB queued up himself too, and man, I mean, once he gets that, they already were lacking lockdown. You throw the BKB on top, you just gotta
We see charge and charge action right now.
Oh gosh. This is actually hilarious.
Like, I think the play here is for Z-Freak to only turn around at the last second and then lift him so he doesn't get charged. Yeah. But still, pretty funny.
Had to follow the camera angle there. Alright, so he's gonna get away in the end.
Top lane, a huge fight breaks out, though.
And it does. Jesse's in the front lines, actually. They're gonna lose Rubik in the end back there. Reaper Scythe. What? Did he go? He put under.
It was dodged with
I was like, wait a second. He literally got deleted. No, he's put under with the Astral Imprisonment, so saving the day and keeping him alive in the end. But yeah, as we did see, kinda. That was horrible camera work. My bad. Cam tours, everyone. Anyways, Rubik goes down there at the bottom lane anyways. And they do defend the tier 3 tower top at least. So the game of stalling for complexity.
I was a little bit surprised when they popped the global. I was like, wait, you'd never pop a global just to get the Spirit Breaker kill. And then I see they're fighting up top, but ultimately, you know, without the Spirit Breaker there, and I believe the Clinks wasn't there either, there wasn't really any way either side would have any casualties, really. Almost obviously get the Nature's Prophet, but this is one of the nice counters, actually, the OD with the Astral Imprisonment. It's an easy ultimate to counter as well. Don't really need to time it, like, well or anything, so...
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Pretty straightforward there. Gives them the reaction time, so... Now we're seeing these really bulky items starting to develop on complexity more so. I mean, now you got Underlord, the full-on Guardian Greaves is around the corner. Obviously needs the mech first, but that's going to be nice. Nature's Prophet actually has a Hurricane Pike in queue here, so that's going to be a nice saving tool for him. But even OD going to Shiva's next, which in general is a pretty good item on him for sure, but especially this game. Again, goes back to just stacking that armor. And is going to be a great one. So there are some nice items coming out for complexity. It's just, are they the turnaround items?
The thing is, they're stacking a lot and being tanky, but they don't really deal damage themselves just yet. Yeah, the Hurricane Pike on the Nature's Prophet is nice, but ultimately it gives him a lot of stats that he actually doesn't need. He doesn't necessarily need armor or... Well, he might need armor now, yeah.
Kind of wishes he had a little bit more now. Nature's Prophet, though, he will live. Forest staffs away, Moo in the midst of that. That Pit of Malice is doing a bit of work. Dark Rift activated. Everyone get in. The Uber's here. Nope, he's dead. Never mind. Uber driver died. They also take on Nature's Prophet. That was Reaper Sides killing him. He's dead for 80. Kyle gets picked up as well. A double kill coming out for Pycat. And they got Z-Freak throughout that. So a 4-for-0 fight in favor of Team Dire. Absolutely wiping them out there.
Absolutely wiped. And again, they have to invest so much in tanking up and, you know, getting armor, getting HP, that they basically don't have any damage. So even if they do survive like an initial onslaught, do they have actually enough damage to take down the Clinks during his BKB? Just doesn't seem likely at this point, and they're gonna lose probably a Rax here. And quite frankly, I'm not sure how Complexity can get back into this fight, because yeah, they use the Reaper Sight, but that's sort of like the only cooldown Dire committed to this, right? They don't really need to commit any big ultimates to wipe Complexity. Didn't even need the wall.
Oh, they fairly easily take out the top racks after. Then they'll just casually fall back, throwing some smokes out. And then saying well played in their team chat. I miss the chat wheel, man. I miss it, but...
I really do. I think the players as well, because I think they're like spamming any other
they're
chat
so
wheel
used
command.
to it, yeah.
Exactly. They're just spamming any other chat wheel command they can, just as a reminder that there were better ones.
For me.
Dark's here. Lotus Orb almost finished now as well. As always, it's going to be a great tool to have. Spirit Breaker charging in. Going to go on Underlord. And usually you find yourself saying this is a tough target to kill, and it's really no different here, but the way things have been going for them. In fact, Clinks now comes in, and just look at that damage, man. One more auto attack, and he's dead. He popped the BKB for this. Jesse's like, sayonara. Not the same for Moo. He does eventually fall right there. Dark Rift not off cooldown, of course, so it's going to transition nicely into the bottom tier 2 now. Objective-based gaming coming out for Team Dire here. And man, yeah, look at this Necropulse. Haven't looked at him in a while, but Radiant, BKB, and his own Shiva is coming up.
Again, it feels like we don't even need to pay any attention to Pycat at all this game, just because CC&C and Misery are just running the show for the team.
At the same time, he is 7-1-5. He's still been involved in 12 of the tank, 20 kills, excuse me, 22 kills. It's going to be Moody Scene right there, apparent crash. So,
well, this is probably going to be the last stand for Complexity. If they lose this fight, they pretty much lose their base as well. So in 20 seconds, they definitely need to find something, some sort of, you know, good initiation with a Pit of Malice. Maybe there's not even like a great spell where Ruby could steal and immediately initiate the fight. You know, there's not like a Fissure or maybe even an Echo Slam that you could steal. If anything, maybe the Vacuum.
I mean, sure. I'll see. I love the optimism there, Skim. You're doing your part and trying to give them hope, but Complexity, this is a 24k deficit. They're down Underlord. This is going to be the Rax killed, and you see here, Complexity, they just really can't do much. They're going to try to fight back into this. They group up CC&C, but there's that Vacuum Wall coming out. The Reaper side cuts down Limp right there, and he's dead for 81 seconds. He has a buyback, but it just doesn't matter. They will throw in the towel, and GG, well played. We are going to a game number 3 here between these two teams, and well, I'm excited. I definitely don't mind the fact that we have a third game, and really almost expect it.
Yeah, you know, I enjoy watching both of these teams, so, you know, I'm very happy about a Game 3, but I have to applaud, you know, just Dire, but also just not only CCNC and Misery for their play, but also PPD again for the draft. I think that Klink's pick was just perfect. And not only did it